TSOE. It's emergency. Over. It's over for me, man. Yeah. Come on. Teach the babies the truth. Every parent is a teacher, it ain't optional. Early childhood development until it's optimal. Educate the babies till they know that they unstoppable. Culture make it practical, equip them with an arsenal of weapons and a toolkit. Curriculum, the blueprint, take them to museums, buying books with the new kicks. They said you can't teach your old dog new tricks. Mathematics, science, writing papers from a rubric. Our story infinite, slavery is not the start. Maya, there's a living co-connected mind to the heart. Institution building start with family. It's the cornerstone, ruin and the building of a nation start within the home. Nature is a teacher and the children learning from a phone. Community agreeing on the standards of what's right and wrong. Make it even cooler, put the lesson somewhere in a song. Soul and rhythm, people, entertainment, you can sing along.
I educate mind and elevate and organize. I educate mind and elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. I educate mind and elevate and organize. I educate mind and elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. I educate mind and elevate and organize. Uhuru Academy, we the truth, who mad at me. I don't know what you do, but over here we fight insanity. And honor it gon' be deeply rooted where they planted me. Don't take it as vanity. We just can't stand how this planet be rejecting the melanated while savages get celebrated. My life is dedicated to uplifting the masses. Still gotta segregate it, the bottom of the classes. I made a promise to the creator a long time ago to teach when I rhyme a flow and to serve until it's time to go. Stand on the shoulders of those who came before us so we can. Smarter to build a youth than to try to save a broken man. System ain't complicated, predictable, we know the plan. African centered cheering, don't fall into the open hand. Critical thinkers and innovators with a vision clear. Building without the fear, no future force without them here.
Hip hop was originally a tool of expression, a tool for resistance, a tool of voice for the voiceless, right? Can hip hop still be that? Can hip hop still be a tool?
Yes,
definitely. I think so, because it'll be a good way of lifting up the black youth, any youth, but lifting up the black youth and reconnecting us with our roots.
I educate mind to elevate and organize. I educate mind to elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. I educate mind to elevate and organize. I educate mind to elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. Ignore the lies. I educate mind to elevate and organize. Ignore the lies. I educate mind to elevate and organize. Ignore the lies. I educate mind to elevate and organize.
Peace and power, y'all. Peace and power. It's your brother Baba Amin Ojuok, and this is a tribute to the great Kwame Ture, also known as Stokely Carmichael, powerful revolutionary. Today would have been his 85th, Earth Strong 85th birthday. He is a revolutionary that his work had a profound effect on my life, studying him, listening to his speeches. I've never had an opportunity to meet him face to face, but I did have an opportunity in my youth, in my early years, my early 20s, to do some work with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, of which he was the chairman. And I just wanted to come on. I was thinking about him today, and I was thinking about what his message would be to us today. What would his message be to the youth today, right? And look up, if you haven't studied Kwame Ture or Stokely Carmichael, you know what I'm saying? You definitely want to do that. You definitely want to do that. He has speeches all over YouTube. And, you know, of course, there's a book. It's autobiography, and I had it pulled up. I'll pull it up before we get off of here today. But it has an autobiography as well. And, you know, as a matter of fact, you know, for those who support us on this video, and we'll gift you that. I want to gift you his autobiography as well for those who give, those who support, because I'm on here for more than just that, right? It's a tribute to Kwame Ture, but we're also raising funds for our summer school. We're also raising funds for the Uhuru Academy online summer school. We are looking for support. You can see the ticker going across the screen to support the Uhuru Academy. And I want to put in some work, man. I want to put in some work. I want to put in some work. I want to put in some work educating the community online, educating the community through the streams, doing what I can. I want to bring in guests. I want to highlight some history. I want to teach, but I'm also doing this because we're building institutions, right? We're building institutions. For those of you who don't know me again, I'm Dr. Baba Amin Ojuok, along with my beautiful wife and Koyo. We founded the Uhuru Academy in 2010 in Fort Worth, Texas, an African-centered school that has evolved into an African-centered education enterprise. What can I say? What can I say other than, this is the work. This is the movement, right? Educating our children, building institutions for our children. And of course, we stand on the shoulders of giants of Bibi Fahodie, Teet Devon. We stand on the shoulders of many giants that come before us. Education has always been such a huge part of our culture, a huge part of not only our survival and thriving in the United States, but since the beginning of civilization, since the dawn of civilization, the whole institution of organized education comes from our ancestors, come from Africa, comes from our people. You know what I'm saying? And so when we founded the Uhuru Academy, we didn't start it responding to racism. We didn't start it because the school system was racist, right? And I'm not saying that the school system isn't, right? there's it's definitely systemic racism is definitely real. But Uhuru Academy was born out of us imagining what would an institution that was optimal for our children look like, right? What would a community look like that wouldn't allow our children to fall through the cracks, but was committed to building institutions that caught our children when they fell through the cracks of the system? What would that look like? What if we had a choice? How do we flex our power, right? And Kwame Ture, or Stokely Carmichael, one of the things that he was popular for was popularizing the term Black Power. Now, of course, he got that term from his comrade Mukasa Ricks, and shout out to the elder Mukasa Ricks, right? But it was at a rally. It was at a rally, right? Where in Lowndes County, Alabama, and we're going to talk about that as well. It was a rally in Lowndes County, Alabama, where he recently got out of jail for organizing the people there to vote. Where Stokely got up on stage and said, "We want Black Power. We want power." Right. And so in finding the Uhuru Academy, in starting the Uhuru Academy, one of the guiding questions was, how do we educate our children toward power? Right. And what does power mean? Not that corruptible power, not that corrupt power where you exploit others, but the power to determine your destiny, the power to fix our community. Right. I came up in an era where I watched us go from being able to leave our front door open, right, to watching our neighborhoods get ravaged by crack cocaine. I watched that, right? I know what the black neighborhood looked like pre-crack, right? And I watched our neighborhoods go down, our communities go down, and I remember feeling powerless to do anything about it. And I remember feeling like, as someone who was graduating from the top of my class, at the top of my class, I remember feeling powerless to do anything about it and feeling like I wasn't learning anything in school that was going to help me reverse the condition inside my community. Matter of fact, I was being told that I was smart and that I had what it takes to get out. I was being encouraged, and let me turn my mic volume down because I can get loud. I was being encouraged to get out the community. I came up in the era where they said, you get out. You go and you get you a good job, get you a nice house, a family, and you can get out the hood. So I grew up in a neighborhood, but I came of age in a hood, right? It was a neighborhood in the early years. and it became the hood in my teenage years. It was a neighborhood where you said, man, you know what? I might open a store here. I might, you know, I'm proud of this neighborhood. When I was younger, then I got older, it turned into the hood and became something to escape, something to get out of, right? So I recognized, especially when I got to college, that I wasn't being educated to help the community. I wasn't being educated to rebuild the community. That wasn't our agenda. Our agenda was to get as far away from it as possible. For many of us, that was hard to do in the 90s. It was hard to watch whole families that you grew up with be destroyed. It was hard watching what was going on in our neighborhood, cats gang banging and killing each other and that sort of thing. It was hard to watch that and say, well, I got mine. I got mine. You got to get yours, right? And, you know, things had changed. And one of the things that changed in me was being exposed to African history when I got to Wiley College. Not Wiley, I'm sorry. Well, yep, Wiley College. That was it. It was Wiley. When I got to Wiley College, I was exposed to African history, right? And being exposed to African history really for the first time. Like, I learned about Rosa Parks. I'd learned about Dr. King, but I didn't know anything about Malcolm X. I didn't know anything about Marcus Garvey. I didn't know anything about Fannie Lou Hamer. I didn't know anything about some of the more aggressive activists from the civil rights era, the Black Power era. I didn't know anything about Stokely Carmichael or Kwame Ture. And when I started learning about the Black Panther Party and this fascinating generation of young black people who changed the world, it fascinated me. It fascinated me. I was totally fascinated. I'm still fascinated by that generation. I'm still blown away by the things that I learned regarding our people's resilience, regarding what our people have gone through, what they've done, right? And one common thread weaves all these eras together, from Reconstruction, right? To how we persevered through Jim Crow and built black towns, the Black Town movement, through the Civil Rights movement, the Black Power movement. One thread, right, ties them all together, and that's education. And I'm not talking about just regular public school education. Every time you study any era where we had to step up and do more, when we had to step up and change our thinking in order to get to the next level, someone brought a different type of education. It always begins where? In the mind. Dr. King was not being educated to become Dr. King. He was being educated to become a minister, a Baptist minister. He wasn't being educated to become an agitator. He wasn't being educated to lead boycotts and marches. No, that education came later. That education came when he got involved in the community, when his generation said enough is enough. That's when that came. Malcolm X dropped out of school in the 6th grade. So one of our most brilliant leaders ever, brilliant voices ever, his education didn't come from formal education. He was educated somewhere else. He was educated through the teachings of Elijah Muhammad and through his own independent study of Pan-Africanism and traveling the world, right? And so the same with Kwame Ture, who grew up on the East Coast, right? But then he received an education looking at what was going on in the South, being exposed to political education, true political education. It lit a fire up under him, right? It lit a fire up under him. And I think the reason why I resonate with him so much is because he didn't just fight for freedom in his neighborhood. He didn't just fight for freedom at home. He went out. He journeyed out and took his gift into other communities, the way we do at the Uhuru Academy. He took his gift into other states, other cities, eventually other countries, using his voice, using his perspective, using his gift of speech and organization to organize black people all over the world. Whether you agree with everything that he talked about or not, You have to admire that level of conviction. You have to admire that level of sacrifice, that level of courage, the ability to even change the minds of folks who, you know what I'm saying, who didn't look like him, right? And so he's somebody that I admire a lot, man. He's somebody I have a lot of admiration for. I admire his work, and we're trying to raise up in the Uhuru Academy young people who have a voice. He reminds us that we must listen to our youth, that we must pay attention to our natural leaders, that we must pay attention to those that are brave enough to have an opinion, brave enough to stand up. We got to shape those children, not suppress them, right? So I'm really motivated, and I just wanted to come on for a few minutes and honor him. And so what we're going to do, right, I'm going to honor one of my former students. He was 11 years old at the time, a young brother named Rondé Kelly, one of my online students from Chicago. I remember when he was 11 years old, sixth grader with us, and he did a presentation on Kwame Ture, on Stokely Carmichael. I'm going to share that presentation with y'all today. Hold up. I'm going to share that presentation with y'all today, and I'm going to do Rondé's presentation, give y'all some background on Kwame Ture. Hold up. Let me do this. And peace to all that's hanging out with me. Again, Cash App, $ Uhuru Academy, PayPal, paypal.me/the Uhuru Academy. I'll also be putting a donation link in the chat here shortly. But those are ways that you can support us. We have our online summer school going on. Let's see. Next session 2 starts July 13th. All right. And so there's so many ways to support Uhuru. There's so many ways to support the Uhuru Academy. All right. Let's see. Let's do this. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this while I get this ready.
I'm tired of all these slave movies. I'm tired of thinking that our history began in 1619 on slave ship. No way, sir. My ancestors wasn't slaves. My ancestors were Africans. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody call you a slave. Don't let nobody call you a slave. Yeah. Don't let nobody call you a slave. Don't let nobody call you a slave. Yeah. Don't let nobody call you a slave. Don't let them put your history in the grave. You come from royalty, the bold and the brave. You building temples, they were still in the caves. You built the pyramids, you was the first in charge. The OG kings and queens, Massa Musa living large. Ramses and Queen and Singer, Virginia's Imhotep. I see it in your stare, black and proud, go for self. Don't let nobody call you a slave. Not at all. Walk with your head up because you're not afraid. Never afraid. Go learn your story. You much more than they say. More than they say. African glory, the foundation was laid. If George Washington is a hero, then Nat Turner is a hero. If General Patton is a hero, then Desmond Lee is a hero. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to apologize for our history. We not the slaves. We come from kings and queens, conquerors and warriors, scientists and astronomers. Learn your story.
All right. Hey, don't let nobody call you a slave. Enroll your babies in the Uhuru Academy online summer school, July 13th through the 24th. Go to uhuruacademy.com right now and sign your babies up. If you don't got a baby to sign up, let somebody else know. Spread the word. We're instilling confidence. We're instilling culture. We're doing academic enrichment. Y'all, let's get it. All right, let's make this thing happen. All right. By Rondé Kelly, Stokely Carmichael, also known as Kwame Ture. All right. Let's see here. Born Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture was born June 29, 1941 in Port of Spain, Trinidad. All right. And of course, Rondé made a note for his classmates that the Port of Spain is the capital of Trinidad. He believed in Black Power. He was an organizer in the Civil Rights Movement. Of course, y'all know he was a founding member of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and a global Pan-African movement. Although he wasn't born here, he was raised in the United States. He came here at the age of 11, right? He started developing into an activist. We know him while attending Bronx High School of Science. When did he become an activist, right? In high school, a young man. Kwame was a key leader in the Black Power movement, first while leading the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, then as the honorary Prime Minister of the Black Panther Party. Lastly, he was also a leader of the All African People's Revolutionary Party. All right. Now, Rondé put a speech in his presentation, but we're not going to play that tonight. I'm going to organize one of my favorite lectures by Kwame Ture. It's called Turning the Unconscious Conscious. And I think for Temple on Sunday, we're going to play that. We're going to do a live stream of that lecture on the Uhuru Academy Patreon. And I'll get you all the information about that as well. All right. All right, cool. But I love this quote that Rondé chose in his presentation. He said, if a white man wants to lynch me, that's his problem. If he's got the power to lynch me, that's my problem. Racism is not a question of attitude. It's a question of power. Now, this is a key quote and something that we teach our children at the Uhuru Academy. How someone feels about you is one thing, but them having the power to affect your life as a result of how they feel about you is another, right? It's not so much about changing the people in power, but changing power and gaining the power to protect oneself. The power, for example, you won't have to worry about being, you won't have to worry about experiencing racism in a store if you don't need the store. If you have your own store. You don't have to worry about racism in a company if we own the company. You don't have to worry about racism in systems when we run the systems. The best way to protect yourself from the domination of others is to not be in a position to be dominated by others, right? And that's why we teach self-sufficiency. That's why we teach freedom is responsibility, right? If a white man wants to lynch me, that's his problem. If that's what he wants, that's his. Ain't got nothing to do. You can want it all you want to. But if he's got the power to do it, that's when it becomes my problem. Right? We teach our students, if someone has an adverse feeling about you, that's their problem. But if they have the power to affect you, your existence, your ability to move, your ability to succeed, then it becomes your problem. It's not a question of attitude. It's a question of what? Power. I love that quote. All right. Then some of you may be confused as to why some people call him Stokely Carmichael, others call him Kwame Ture. Rondé broke it down. My student broke it down. Now, Rondé's in high school now, right? But he said his birth name was Stokely Carmichael, but in 1969, he changed his name to Kwame Ture. The reason he did this was to pay homage to Kwame Nkrumah, who was a Ghanaian politician, revolutionary, and the first prime minister and president of Ghana. And Stokely Carmichael actually joined Kwame Nkrumah's administration. He actually relocated to West Africa and became a part of Kwame Nkrumah's administration in Ghana, right? FBI targeted him for counterintelligence activity through his COINTELPRO program. So Carmichael moved to Africa in 1968 for him and his wife's safety. He established himself in Ghana, and then he went on to move to Guinea in 1969. When he moved to Guinea, he took on the name Kwame Ture and began campaigning all over the world for Pan-Africanism. Right? And even put the definition of counterintelligence on here. Y'all, this is an 11-year-old. Counterintelligence is an activity aimed at protecting an agency's intelligence program from an opposition's intelligence service. So counterintelligence, right? And that's basically getting information that you can weaponize against an enemy. The look up COINTELPRO if you've never looked it up before. Look up COINTELPRO, the COINTEL program ran by the CIA and the FBI in the United States, and how the black movement from the civil rights and black power movement was targeted by COINTELPRO. Right. Oh, and at one time, Kwame Ture was actually married to Miriam Makeba, one of the most famous singers in the history of the continent, right? And then Rondé took us on a music break. I ain't gonna take y'all on a music break, but Rondé took us on a music break where we listened to Miriam Makeba doing his presentation, right? All right, quiz, y'all. Y'all can put it in the comments if you know. Who did Stokely pay homage to when he changed his name to Kwame Ture? Who did he pay homage to? I just said, who did Kwame Ture pay homage to when he changed his name, when Stokely Carmichael changed his name to Kwame Ture, who was he paying homage to? Put in the chat if you know. Why did Kwame Ture move to Ghana or Guinea? Why did he relocate to Africa? Can you name at least one of the organizations that he took part in or led? And who was his famous wife and what did she do? Who was his famous wife and what did she do? All right. So who did he pay homage to? Kwame Nkrumah when he changed his name. Why did he move to Ghana? Counter pressure from the counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO. Can you name at least one organization he took part in? How about SNCC? How about the All African People's Revolutionary Party? And what was his famous wife and what did she do? Miriam Makeba. She was a singer. All right. Cool. Look, young man put his sources on there. I ain't mad at you, Rondé. I ain't mad at you at all. Then he hit us with the question, comments, or concerns. All right. Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. Let me come back up here. All right. So, brief history of Kwame Ture. Brief history of him. Another great book to read is entitled Black Power. All right. And I did say I was going to get a hold of his autobiography. And I have it digitized. And I would definitely love to gift this to somebody. The first person to donate $20 or 25, let's make it 25. First person to donate $25 to the Uhuru Academy, I will email you a copy of Kwame Ture's autobiography. All right. The first person to give, and this is a lie, but we're gonna replay this, right? Y'all gotta help me share the replay. The first person to give will get for free in your email Stokely Carmichael's autobiography. And as soon as I find it here, I just had it. I just had it, right? And I'm sure it'll come back up. I'm sure I'll get it. Is that it right there? This might be it right here. Let me see. It's pulling up now. All right. Yep. Ready for the Revolution, the life and struggles of Stokely Carmichael, right? Look, this is the book, y'all. This is the book. Hold up. This is the book. Ready for Revolution, the life and struggles of Stokely Carmichael. I highly recommend it. Make sure you get this and add it to your collection. I can send it to you. You support the Uhuru Academy, I got you. All right? Let's do this. All right. Look, y'all. We ask for support with no shame because we work hard. We ask for support with no shame because we know that our model works. We know that we're changing lives. This is what we know, right? But you ain't got to take my word for it. You can listen to some of our parents.
Hello, my name is Shay. I am Bree's mom, and Bree has been attending the Uhuru Academy for the past 3 years, and I can say it's been nothing less than amazing. True, it was scary at first, the transition. You don't know how your child is going to do with being at home online, but you can travel as needed and still attend school. The way that they teach our scholars, they meet them where they are, which is the best thing. They're not pushing them, but pushing them to a standard, but they are pushing them to their potential, which is a good thing. I've seen a growth in her self-confidence as well as the confidence with her schoolwork. I would recommend anyone who's on the fence of enrolling, do so. It's a great jump. It's a great change. And I would do it all over again.
As a proud parent of students that attend Uhuru Academy, we are honored that we are able to put our children in a homeschooling safe place where they can learn amazing things by amazing mentors and teachers. Our children are thriving, and we wouldn't be in a better place. I've been homeschooling for almost, if not over 14 years. A mother of 12. Our children are thriving. I am so proud of Shavon. I am so proud of Shamai, Shazah, and Sanaya. Our children will continue to learn at the Uhuru Academy under the amazing leadership of Baba Amin, his beautiful wife and queen, and all of the instructors. If you are interested in being a homeschooling family today and you don't know where to start, you want to visit the website. And if you don't have any children, you definitely want to donate. Take it from me and all the other parents who are speaking amazing things. Uhuru Academy is definitely the place to be. Peace.
I ain't telling you something that somebody else ain't told me. I'm talking to y'all about what we doing. I don't have any prepared notes, any prepared speech. Matter of fact, y'all, I'm kind of nervous right now. So much has been happening. So much has been going on. The creators put so much in front of us, and I really appreciate all the love and all the respect that we get. But from my seat, I see the vision. But from my seat, sometimes, you know, it's enormous. Sometimes it could be overwhelming, right? And isolating, But you realize that sometimes you do that to yourself, right? And I can imagine how leaders from the past felt. You could be in a room full of people and almost feel like you're by yourself, right? But I've never been alone. We've never been alone in this struggle. We've never been alone on this journey building the Uhuru Academy. We're only here because of the community. We're only here because of our amazing partners. One of our community partners, Conscious Ingenuity, Dr. Oya Mayat. We're in our fourth year of the UACI online STEM camp. Over 100 students this year. Shout out to the Morgan State University, and shout out to all of our sponsors. This has truly been a grassroots effort. A grassroots effort, coalition building, community building. If you've ever supported the Uhuru Academy, thank you. If you've ever donated to the Uhuru Academy, thank you. If you've ever volunteered your time, thank you. If you've ever been impacted by us, thank you. And continue to tell people about that impact. We appreciate our parents so much. You just heard from Mrs. Israel. You just heard from Miss Shay Reeves, right, about their experience with the Uhuru Academy. Y'all, I'm not in this to be famous. I'm not in this, obviously, to get rich. We're in this to make an impact on our children. And I'm sitting here with no rehearsal. I just had it on my heart to do this tonight because I was thinking about Kwame Ture. I was thinking about Stokely Carmichael. And I'm thinking like, wow, how do we carry on that legacy? And I saw some parallels between him and what we're trying to do. I'm not going to say me and him. I can't compare myself to Kwame Ture. I cannot do that. That brother went into Lowndes County, Alabama. He went into Lowndes County, Alabama. This kid, born in Trinidad, grew up in New York, went to Lowndes County, Alabama in the midst of Jim Crow to organize the black community to rule Lowndes County. Not just to vote in Lowndes County. They were voting with a purpose to rule their area, to run the politics and economics in their area. That was bold. That was powerful. We're going to watch a quick documentary about his time in Lowndes. And it's really about the people, because I'm thinking if Kwame Ture was here right now, he'd be like, man, don't talk about me. Talk about the people, right? Make it about the people. Make it about the community. Make it about how to draw out the greatness that's already within. And a lot of times when we learn about the civil rights struggle and the black power struggle, we focus so much on individuals, we don't focus on the group. We don't focus on the fact that there is no Dr. King if there's no working class man willing to march behind him. There is no Malcolm X if there isn't a young brother off the block who just turned into a Muslim willing to secure him and defend him, right? Our leaders are nothing without the masses of the people. Make it about the people. I try to remind myself, make it about the people. The Uhuru Academy is not about me. It's about the people. The Uhuru Academy is not about my wife. It's about the people. Yes, we founded the school, but this is our education movement. Not saying we're the only movement on the planet, no, but this is the one I work in. This is the one we're working in. And if you're supporting us, this is the one that you're a part of as well. Anyway, let's check this out. Let's check this short documentary out about Lowndes County. All right. The original Black Panther Party, by the way. The original Black Panther Party, by the way.
Lowndes County is located 44 miles southwest of Montgomery, Alabama, also known as the Black Belt, a region solely dependent upon the cotton industry. Lowndes County played a significant role in changing the narrative for African Americans in the United States. This county has been viewed as a poor and uneducated area. But that's not always been the case. After slavery was abolished in 1865, Northern white and black educators migrated south to assist freed blacks with adjusting to society by typically establishing schools. Lowndes County would be the top beneficiary from this migration. And it started with the vision from a well-renowned historical icon, Booker T. Washington.
Washington was a product of Hampton Institute, class of 1875. A few years after completing his education at Hampton Institute, Washington was called upon to be the first president of Tuskegee Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama, by Lewis Adams and George Campbell, who are actual founders of the institution. When Washington gets to Tuskegee, he will implement the principles that he learned at Hampton Institute, this whole idea of educating the whole person, the hand, heart, and mind.
Washington would often visit his alma mater at Hampton Institute. There was one particular trip to Hampton that would change the lives of two white women, Charlotte Thorne and Mabel Dillingham, who were teachers at the institution. During Washington's visit, he met with Thorne and Dillingham. In the meeting, Washington explained how blacks in Alabama were in desperate need of education. The ladies were so moved by his words that they discussed the matter the entire night. The next day, they informed Washington that they were willing to go to Alabama to teach, but they would need help finding the place that needed help the most. That place would be the city of Calhoun, located in Lowndes County, that was the largest proportion of blacks to any county in Alabama. 1892, Calhoun Colored School, a private boarding and day school, was established by Thorne, Dillingham, and Washington. Thorne would serve as principal, Dillingham would assistant principal, and Washington who served on the board of trustees.
As you can imagine, all three were products of Hampton Institute. And let's not forget about George Washington, who also was a Hampton graduate that started a school 13 miles east of Montgomery called the People's Village School in Mount Meigs, who would utilize the same method of teaching, this training of the whole mind, body, and soul.
I remember being a child and hearing about how people used to live at this school. They grew their own food, how they they were sewing, that they did blacksmith, they had masonry. They were basically self-sufficient. And I think that was the beauty of that model.
She said, I wanna be free. Hear me now. I wanna be free. She said, I wanna be free.
Calhoun Color School, which served blacks in Lowndes County throughout the Reconstruction to its closing in 1945. Despite the success in the area, there were no blacks that held office in Lowndes County, although they made up the majority of the population.
Notice the independence.
1965,
Notice them
when the
doing
Lowndes
what
County
they
Freedom
can with what they
Organization,
had.
also known as the LCFO Black Panther Party, was formed. The LCFO was led by Stokely Carmichael of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and John Hewlett, a brave local supporter of Lowndes County Freedom Organization.
They were very instrumental in helping getting African Americans registered to vote, as well as seizing political.
So what they're talking about is the original Black Panther Party. Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seals were inspired by the people of Lowndes County, right? Being led by and organized by Kwame Ture. Y'all, look at the self-determination in this video.
Power for a county that was majority African American, but there were no African Americans represented in the political seats. And I must say that this was probably the most profound piece of history that we have.
Majority of the newspaper companies in the South did not report the black communities and its racial issues that were rising in the civil rights movement. However, that will all change with the establishment of the Southern Courier newspaper.
The Southern Courier came about with some students from Harvard. They noticed that the predominantly white papers did not cover the black community. And they started in 1965. And they really wanted to tell the story of what was going on in the South from a civil rights standpoint of view, and favorable things about people of color, actually black people, and poor people. Because when you look at the Courier, it was just poverty, and it was about people and the masses and grassroots, and that's what the paper was for. I got assigned to do Lowndes County. And so I would go there, and my assignment was, first of all, to cover Stokely Carmichael, who was getting out of jail that day. And at the time, they were organizing politically with Dallas County and Lowndes County.
Lowndes County Freedom Organization mission was to organize a voters registration project going door to door and convincing black residents to vote for their black candidates. Due to the extreme level of bigotry in the area, there were many challenges for black voters in Lowndes County.
2 older men in line getting ready to vote. They looked to be in the late 70s, and there was only 2 of them left in line, and I was standing there, because by the time the federal government had sent poll watchers down. And I was watching, just observing and taking notes. And I observed that the first old man got to the counter. So the poll watcher said, "Do you own property?" He said, "Only way you can vote is you got to own property." And so he said, "I own property." He said, "Well, who can vouch for you that you own property?" So the man standing behind him, who's just as elderly, he said, "I can vouch for him. I know him. He has property." The white poll watcher said, "Well, somebody got to vouch for you." Now, there are only 2 left in line. So I'm going, wait a minute. Since I kind of act like I was intelligent and can sound like I was, I probably sound like I was older than 18. So you know what I told them? I said, "I know both of these gentlemen. I can vouch for both of them." And that's how those 2 men voted that day.
The courage that these people had to actually attend the mass meetings. The courage that individuals had to actually register to vote. The courage individuals had to have in order to put their name on the election ballot. Oh my goodness, especially at a time when the Ku Klux Klan was still very much in power in this area.
You think children is brought up to mix the black and white together. Do you know your horse won't mix with your cow? Your dog won't mix with your hog? And you tell me white people has got a mind and can't think no clearer than that.
There were consequences to black residents participating in voting. As majority of sharecroppers and tenant farmers, black residents of Loudoun County were forced off white-owned land, which led to the creation of Tent City.
People were sharecroppers still, and they lived on certain people's land. So they were threatened that if you vote for the black candidate or the candidate, then we would kick you off.
Can you imagine losing your job, being kicked off the land simply because you voted? Simply because you wanted to utilize your rights, your human rights, your civil rights, your rights as a citizen, and in having everything taken from you for exercising that power. Power scares people. So here we are in Lowndes County, Alabama. They're exercising their power to vote because they're in the majority. And they understand that if we're in the majority, we could elect a sheriff. We can elect a mayor. So the people in power are like, hold on, if we want to maintain power, we got to cheat. We have to terrorize these people. We have to harass these people. And can you imagine having to go live in a tent on the ground because you've been kicked off the land because you voted? And now can you imagine being a skinny kid from New York coming into the middle of this, right? Instigating it, encouraging people, being right there, getting hit over the head and going to jail right with them. That's courage.
Of our property. So that's how you fed your family.
It was such a beautiful story in hearing how when they were forced out of their homes because they were associated with this movement, that individuals started building tents so that they could live in the community and feel safe and have somewhere to live. There was no running water. They were not extremely in the safest situation because they had to have lookouts. There were shootings and that their lives were threatened. But they still had the courage to continue on. The true significance of the courage that these families had to stick to what they believed.
How do you erase
of the
this?
Consequences to their lives and their families is inspirational. The county is resilient. The people are resilient. And that's important. It showed resilience in the fact that even though they did not win the election the first go around, that they reorganized, they changed tactics, and they went for it again.
The Lowndes County Freedom Organization Black Power movement spread all over the nation. This movement caught the interest of two black Californians, Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, who would ask for permission to use the Black Panthers emblem that the Lowndes County Freedom Organization adopted for their new Black Panther Party. The Oakland-based Black Panther Party became a more prominent organization than Lowndes County Freedom Organization. As a result, many are unaware of the origins of the Black Panther emblem, derived from the brave African Americans in Lowndes County, Alabama.
The Lowndes County Freedom Organization had the logo of the Black Panther. So it began in Lowndes County. But I will say, when Oakland, California took on the Black Panther, the overall movement, the idea, the concept, it transformed to what the individuals of Oakland, California needed for their area. In Lowndes County, we needed political power. We needed the ability to vote. Those are things that were most important to us at that time. So those are things that we worked towards. When it came to Oakland, California, they had different needs and they went about it different ways to achieve the needs they needed for their area. So there were two totally different organizations, but they had the common logo and the fierceness of the Black Panther behind it.
Lowndes County, Alabama played a key role in educating free blacks during the Reconstruction and motivating blacks to get politically involved in their community during the Civil Rights Movement. This message of black power was echoed across the world, but it all started in Lowndes County, Alabama, yet no one knows its history.
They really don't know the true richness of our history. They don't know about the overall resilience of the people of Lowndes County. They don't understand the struggles that their forefathers had. Whenever we talk about the Civil Rights Movement, we always talk about Dr. Martin Luther King. We're always talking about Rosa Parks, but who we are not talking about are those unsung heroes who are right there in our backyard. What we're not talking about are those individuals right there in Lowndes County who were lynched. Those individuals right there in Lowndes County who lost their lives to shootings. Those individuals right there in Lowndes County who fought for social change. And what we have to do is find a way to show the true richness of our community and help it propel to the next level so that it can be a vibrant and prosperous community.
Bravery, perseverance, resilient, educated, driven, unshaken, leaders, trailblazers, and black. Yeah, that's Lowndes County. This county is deserving of its own crown. Every person of color in the U.S. benefits from the abundant sacrifices that were made in Lowndes County. For the people of color in this country that are asking themselves, why should I seek an education? My answer to you is, because you can, because it was not always accessible. If you're asking yourself, why should you vote? Because there are no consequences. Stand up. There's a lot that we should be proud of. There are things one can learn from the heroes of the past. Once we learn the truth of our past, the future is more promising.
Was that not powerful? Was that not powerful? For me, teaching our story is not about like names and dates. It's about people. It's about the details. It's about the divinity that shows up when times are toughest. There are so many examples of resilience in our story. So many examples of creativity, ingenuity, bravery. All those things they try to define as being American or the American dream or the American story. All of that stuff is found in the spirit of our ancestors. All that bravery is found, that courage is found, that fight for freedom, that fight and belief in freedom. We embody that. Our ancestors embodied that, and that's still in us today. But these stories have been erased. And when you erase examples like this, when you erase stories like this for whatever reason, we're cheating our children, we're cheating ourselves, and we're allowing definitions about who we are, stereotypes to creep in and be the default definition because we're not sitting examples next to these lies. We're not sitting the truth next to these stereotypes, the truth next to these tropes that'll cancel all that out. We're not inundating our children. We say y'all don't appreciate the vote. Y'all don't appreciate what our ancestors went through. We're not teaching. We're not teaching what our ancestors went through. We're not teaching. We're not showing the victories. We're showing the losses. And we're cherry picking which leader is safe to teach about. If they become socialists, like Kwame Ture, we counsel them from the history books because you can't like a socialist. If they carry a gun and believe in self-defense like Robert and Mabel Williams, well, we can't put them in the history books because they believed in carrying guns in self-defense. Yet we've carried guns in defense of the United States since there's been a United States. But we can't highlight anybody who carried a gun in defense of us within the United States. Just a few years ago, a whole bunch of folks crawled the walls on January 6th crawled the walls at the Capitol, at the nation's capital, bust windows, crushed cops to stop an election. Yet we can't teach about resistance when it comes to our freedom. We need to see these images now more than ever. We need to see black resilience now. We need to see black morality right now. We need to get back to our roots and understanding who we are. We've gotten too far away. We're losing too many young people because they're embracing definitions that lead to prison or death. And if we can't change the narrative inside the school system, we need to build our own institutions to change the narrative. And yes, we still need to be in the school systems, but we need power. Where we're in the majority, there's no reason why you should be in a majority district or district where you're the majority and our children aren't learning a story in schools. Our story, an empowering story, an uplifting story. Not just we shall overcome with the head down, but the Lowndes County Freedom Party, the original Black Panthers. Surrounded by chaos, surrounded by terror. And they didn't let it stop them. That's what we teach at the Uhuru Academy. That you can own the future. That you can build the community that you would like to see. And that doesn't harm anybody. The only people afraid of that are people who profit off of us being another way. People who profit off of us not circulating our dollars inside of our communities. People who profit from us not being interested in owning the stores in our community. Those are only people that have a problem because it's hurting their pocket. Might hurt the prison industry. But do you care about hurting the prison industry? I think if Kwame Ture was here today, he would tell us to get organized. He would tell us it's time to revitalize safe spaces, black spaces, like the so-called Corridor of Shame here in South Carolina. I believe he would tell us that neither one of the major political parties are our friend. And he would provide receipts. I believe he would tell us that we still need independent black political representation, especially locally. I'm running for superintendent of education for the state of South Carolina. But it's not really about the job. It's the fact that I'm running as a part of an independent political party, the United Citizens Party, that has an agenda that is centered around the issues that directly impact our community. No fluff. No, well, we can't just do something for the black community. No, none of that. No, directly addresses issues that impact our community. You are the platform. We have an opportunity right now to build a party that talks to us. I'm talking to the masses. I'm talking to the working class. We can build schools. We can build programs. We can provide options for our young people. We can take over the narrative. Yes, we can. time out for everyone monetizing our problems. We need to stop the violence, stop the violence. What do we need to start? What can you start that will stop the violence? Instead of just saying stop, what can we start? That's my question. Are you willing to invest in it? Are you willing to invest in young people without calling them at risk, without labeling them troubled, without labeling them violent, without labeling them street involved, gang involved? Are you just willing to invest in our youth? I am, and I bet you are too. I bet you're tired of being talked at. I bet you're tired of being told that it's raining when somebody's really urinating on your head. I am. We need power. And you have power beyond the booth. We just have to use it. Let's get organized in the spirit of Kwame Ture. Let's get organized in the spirit of the Uhuru Academy. Let's get organized. Support the mission. Cash App, $ Uhuru Academy, PayPal, paypal.me, the Uhuru Academy. And we appreciate that, but I'm really looking for partners. I'm really looking for organizers. I'm really looking for people who want to partner up and build institutions. That's what we're really looking for. Your time, your expertise, your support. That's what we're looking for. And understand that an empowered Black community helps everybody. An empowered Black community saves the United States again. It won't be our first time saving this country. We'll talk soon. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
Don't crash out, breakthrough. Giving up on like that ain't you. They said I wasn't good enough, that ain't true. Level up, ain't nothing that you can't do. With some confidence and self-respect, discipline to keep yourself in check. A vision so clear that you know what's next. What they do, they did. Operation Reconnect.
I get it. Missing out on high school graduation can feel tough. But guess what? This isn't the end. It's just a plot twist. Your journey is just beginning. Introducing Operation Reconnect. Here to help you get that diploma and most importantly, create a life plan. Don't crash out, break through. Level up your future today. Visit us at uhuruacademy.com or call 682-233-5054 or follow us on Instagram at Uhuru Academy. It's never too late to pursue your dreams. You got this.
BSOE in this emergency. Over. It's over for me, man. Yeah. Come on. Teach the baby the truth. Every parent is a teacher, it ain't optional. Early childhood development until it's optimal. Educate the babies till they know that they unstoppable. Culture make it practical, equip them with an arsenal of weapons and a toolkit. Curriculum, the blueprint, take them to museums, buying books with the new kicks. They said you can't teach your old dog new tricks. Mathematics, science, writing papers from a rubric. Our story infinite, slavery is not the start. Maya, there's a living co-connected mind to the heart. Institution building start with family. It's the cornerstone, ruin and the building of a nation start within the home. Nature is a teacher and the children learning from a phone. Community agreeing on the standards of what's right and wrong. Make it even cooler, put the lesson somewhere in a song. Soul and rhythm, people, entertainment, you can sing along.
I educate, mind, and elevate and organize. I educate mine to elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. I educate mine to elevate and organize. I educate mine to elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. I educate mine to elevate and organize. Uhuru Academy, we the true voodoo who mad at me. I don't know what you do, but over here we fight insanity. And honor it gon' be deeply rooted where they planted me. Don't take it as vanity. We just can't stand how this planet be rejecting the melanated while savages get celebrated. My life is dedicated to uplifting the masses. Still gotta segregate at the bottom of the classes. I made a promise to the creator a long time ago to teach when I rhyme and flow and to serve until it's time to go. Stand on the shoulders of those who came before us so we can. Smarter to build a youth than to try to save a broken man. System ain't complicated, predictable, we know the plan. African centered cheering, don't fall into the open hand. Critical thinkers and innovators with a vision clear. Building without the fear, no future force without them here.
Oh, the hip hop was originally a tool of expression, a tool for resistance, a tool of voice for the voiceless, right? Can hip hop still be that? Can hip hop still be a tool?
Yes, definitely. I think so because it'll be a good way of lifting up the black youth, any youth, but lifting up the black youth and reconnecting us with our roots.
I educate mine to elevate and organize. I educate mine to elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. I educate mine to elevate and organize. I educate mine to elevate and organize. I open their mind and feed them food that fortifies. I show them the grind, teach them the truth, ignore the lies. Ignore the lies. I educate mine to elevate and organize. Ignore the lies. I educate mine to elevate and organize. Ignore the lies. I educate mine to elevate and organize.